If you are a healthcare professional planning to come to the UK, then one of the biggest questions you're going to have is trying to get your HCPC registration, which is the registration that you need in order to work as a allied healthcare professional in the UK. Now, there have been several changes going on with the HCPC registration, and in today's video, I want to talk about two major changes that is going to impact everybody who is in the process of applying for HCPC registration or is going to do so in the next few months. Now, these changes are massive, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and watch this video all the way to the end. But if you haven't already followed me on Instagram, my handle is Physiotherapy in UK, where I put out daily informative content about working in the UK as a healthcare professional, clearing your HCPC, landing those interviews and jobs so that you can be a healthcare professional in the UK if that is what you want. But let's get into the content of today's video first. So the first biggest update I have for you all is related to the English language proficiency test. Now, this is not a big news because there have been obviously several conversations about how HCPC would like to update its English language requirements for international candidates. Now, as from September this year, HCPC has recommended that each and every international candidate should submit their English language requirements. So, people in the past were using their medium of instruction letters from their university or colleges which stated that they were studying in English in order to be eligible for their HCPC registration. This meant that they were not submitting their IELTS or TOEFL scores. However, from September 2024, it has been made mandatory that if you are applying for HCPC registration, you have got to use your IELTS or your TOEFL scores. Now, just to give you a bit more clarity about this, again, I will link all of the screenshots right here, but I will also leave the link for this in the description below, so feel free to check them out. But again, a lot of this hasn't changed. The basic requirements for your IELTS and TOEFL stayed the same, where you need an overall score of 7 and each of the individual elements, that is listening, reading, writing, speaking, should not be less than 6.5, and sort of similar scores for TOEFL, where you need to have at least a minimum of 100 out of 120. Now, what I want to highlight here though is if you see those asterisk marks over there, it says that HCPC accepts both IELTS academic and IELTS general test. We accept, again, UKVI and non-UKVI versions of the test. The test needs to be taken at an official test center and not at home. Now, what I just want to recommend over here, and this again is a humble request to everybody who keeps asking me what kind of IELTS you need to take for HCPC registration. If you are planning to come to the UK and study, so if you want to do your master's program, I would highly recommend just going in for the regular IELTS academic. However, if you are somebody who's planning to just come to the UK on your work visa, so if you are somebody who does not want to do their master's in the UK but is planning to come to the UK as a band 5, as a band 6 physio, nurse, or any other healthcare professional, then what you've got to do is make sure that you give your general UKVI IELTS. The reason for this is because, as you can see over here, obviously HCPC accepts the general test. But the reason why I'm recommending the UKVI test is because when you have got to apply for your work visa at a later stage, you can again just use your UKVI IELTS for your work visa process to show that you have the necessary English language requirements for the work visa as well. So that just makes your process so much more easier, so much more smoother, and that is my recommendation for you. Give the UKVI general IELTS if you are planning to come on work visa in the UK, and if you are coming to study your master's in the UK, then go ahead and give your IELTS academic. Doesn't matter whether it's general or UKVI for that state. The next biggest update I want to give everybody is about the one skill retake. I have seen so many of y'all obviously come to me and say, Nikita, I have not got the required scores in maybe say writing or speaking. What do I do about it? Can I give the test again, or should I just go ahead and submit with whatever scores I have? Now, the answer to this is simple. You cannot submit with whatever scores you have because you need to have the minimum baseline scores of whatever HCPC has recommended is shown in the screenshot that I showed you a few seconds ago. But if you have not met the scores just in a single element, so say for example, only writing or only speaking, you can now go ahead and just retake that single element. Because as you can see, HCPC has now said that as a part of the IELTS one skill retake, they accept retakes for applicants using the IELTS test if the retake is done within 6 months of the original test, and the retake results should be provided with the test report alongside the original results. They should be valid for the same 2-year period as your original results. So this can be a massive good news to many of y'all, especially who are struggling in a single element, because then you can just work on that single element, get the desired scores, and apply for your HCPC registration. The third biggest update in terms of the IELTS again is thinking about what are the other tests that are valid for HCPC. So as you've seen previously in this video, obviously HCPC just recommended IELTS and TOEFL. However, HCPC has gone a step ahead and has also said a few more important things about this topic. So as you can see over here, it has said that applicants whose first language is not English are therefore required to provide a language test certificate as evidence of their proficiency, may do so by completing another English language test which is not formally recognized by us. Now, what is important right here is for you to read that last sentence which is in the box. Because if you are using any other test, say for example OET or PTE, what you've got to make sure is that a certified statement of comparability issued by the test provider, which clearly demonstrates that the test score achieved are comparable to the levels of the IELTS required for HCPC. Failure to provide these test results may delay the processing of your application. The providers issue compatibility statements upon request, and applicants should ensure that the test provider they choose can issue such a statement prior to undertaking any test. So this just goes to say that if you have booked on with a PTE test, make sure that you reach out to them and say that you do require a compatibility certificate from them once you've cleared your PTE test to show what are the equivalent scores for IELTS. This needs to be provided again from the official sources, so whether that's OET or PTE. So make sure that this is also done in your process in order to avoid further delays. Now that we've covered all of the information related to IELTS and English language requirements, I just want to draw your attention to another major update that I think a lot of people have not followed until now, but this video is made for them. And that is ensuring that all your documents are machine readable. Now, what do I mean by machine readable is I'm going to just pull up the screen right here for you to sort of see and show you what it means. So machine readable is a file format that allows content to be read by a system such as a Word document or a searchable PDF document. And you can see that HCPC has that picture right there, but it has highlighted a few words on the screen. Now this is only possible if your PDF is in the machine readable format, which means that the systems that HCPC has can read through those PDFs quite easily. What this means is that their systems cannot read image files, photocopied or scanned documents, and password protected files. So they have recommended that you try and use the machine readable format. And what I've seen recently is that a lot of people have been contacted by HCPC once they've submitted your application, because HCPC then contacts them saying that most of their documents are not in the machine readable format, and hence they recommend that you submit them in the machine readable format before they proceed with assessing your application. Now this can cause massive delay, so I recommend getting all of your documents in the machine readable format before you even go to apply for it. In terms of which documents need to be in the machine readable format, the first thing is obviously your course information form, which is filled out by your university or by your college. Again, if you have questions about this, do not forget to check out these videos because they have lots of information about this topic on my channel already. But some of the other bits are obviously reference letters, job descriptions, personal and professional experience, and case studies. All of these need to be provided in the machine readable format. Now, the other thing that they say in terms of having documents in the machine readable format is ask your education provider if they can to ensure to return your documents such as the course information form in a machine readable format. Now, in order to get your documents in a machine readable format, they've said that you need to use an OCR software that can make your document machine readable online. There are several free options available. I have actually done a Google search and I can see that there are several available options that are free to use on Google. So it might be worth just searching and seeing what is compatible with your laptop or your desktop before you go ahead to use this particular software. And finally, they've just said that obviously don't take a photo of your documents, because again, if you take a photo, it is like a scanned image, which is not machine readable. Now, I hope that video was helpful, guys. But if you still have questions about your HCPC registration, I highly recommend checking out these 3 videos, because it usually has a lot of more information related to this topic that I have made in the past that is continues to be relevant. But if you still have further questions after watching all of them and are confused about anything, do let me know in the comments below and I will try to get back to them. But take care, guys. Bye.